welcome back to Libib's booktube channel. My name is Kaylin and I've been watching some of my old videos recently, like baby Kaylin, and I was watching one of my old videos where I was talking about like big and afraid, like intimidating books. A lot has changed since I last filmed that years ago, and I wanted to revisit it. Today I'm going to talk about intimidating books. They're so thick, dangerous, they could probably kill someone. They just intimidate me so much just due to their size and thickness and just overall scariness. I ended up going to Books A Million because I don't have the majority of these books in my apartment, so I went there. I used my finger as a measuring tool, and let us further ado into the first book. I'm going to go from the thickest to the thick. First up is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 7th and final book in the Throne of Glass series, and this book is whopping ridiculous. Coming in at a whopping 992 pages, this book is printed on Bible thin paper. So just imagine how many pages it was if it would be actually printed on real, not real paper, but normal typical book paper. I bet it'd be way over 1,000 pages, 1,500. It would be the most biggest ridiculous book, but it had to be done. It's one of the most weirdest books to feel. I have read the first book in the Throne of Glass series and half of the second one, and I haven't read the rest of them. But this book just scares me. If I were to finish the series and I were I'm gonna sit down and read Kingdom of Ash today, I would just probably cry because it would be such a huge time commitment to get up to that point. But you know those 992 pages aren't gonna be all fun action adventure. You're gonna have boring parts, you're gonna have all right parts. And the thought of me just reading that book scares me. Next up is a book out of a trilogy I haven't read yet, but that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. And this book comes in at a whopping 912 pages, and this is actually a real book paper. It's not the Bible thin pages, it's actual paper in a normal book. This book is just so hunkin' huge. Lord of Shadows is hunkin' huge. Lady Midnight's pretty dang thick. Cassandra Clare writes some meaty stuff now, and I think that's the biggest thing that turns me off about her books is that they're just so big, and I'm I don't have time to commit to this. I think anything over 300 pages, especially 400 pages, that's just so much. I don't have time for that. Next up is a book that I have watched the TV show and I have not read the book. I watched the TV show first and didn't read the book. Who am I? That is Game of Thrones. It's coming in at a whopping 848 pages, and that is the small mass market paperback thick edition. Bible thin pages. Also, the bigger edition comes in at 649, and that also still has those really Bible-y thin pages, as one would call them. I originally had the small mass market paperback edition of Game of Thrones, and I was wanting to read it years ago, but then I just never read it and I never had any interest in it, and then I decided to just get rid of it. And how I got hooked onto Game of Thrones was I watched the last 2 episodes of season 7, and then I was oh my goodness, I need to watch Game of Thrones. Finally, I've watched recently the entire series of Game of Thrones, and I've just finished season 8 the other day, and everything was fine and dandy up until the last episode, and now I understand why people are so annoyed and want a new ending. The entire point is fighting for this Iron Throne, and then you're just gonna throw it away in the last episode. I'm all for killing characters in the last couple of episodes, but the whole point of the series was just thrown out the window. But besides that fact, I loved and enjoyed the series, and I don't think I'm ever going to read the books just because it is an adult fantasy novel, and that is just not my forte. Next up, coming in at 756 pages, it's Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. I read the entire Twilight series when I was in the 7th grade. I remember it was end of July, I picked up Twilight, and then throughout the school year I would read these. And I remember this one took me like the longest because of, she's so thick. Like, let me get out my fingernail to measure, my finger to measure. Like, she's thick, and it's normal pages like in a book, and she's so thick and luscious. A lot of stuff happens in here. Oh look, I got a B on something. It's just so thick and luscious. There's just so much information in here. Do I want to go back and reread these someday? Heck yes, but all of them are like over 500 pages, and I just have a commitment issue to big and intimidating books. The last book that has 507 pages in it, like, oh my goodness, you went like from 900 and 700 down to like 500. And that is Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. This book is like big in a way that it oh, the cover got bent. It's big in a way that these books take me forever to read, or at least when I read The Darkest Mind, it took me forever to read. But this book, I haven't read yet. I'm intimidated by the size, and not only that, but the length of how long it's gonna take me to read it. Like, this is a big commitment. Darkest Minds took me forever to read, so that's why it intimidates me. It doesn't look that big, it's not that scary. The Darkest Legacy is actually longer in the series, coming in at like 560 pages. Like, this looks so much bigger than this one, and it's like only a couple more pages. But it's just, these books are just so intimidating because of like all the stuff you hear about like the second book slump in a trilogy, and it's not even that thick, but it's thick to me because I'm a baby. Anything over 300, we already established that, but you know. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this week's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what page count you think makes books big and intimidating and scary, or is it more because of the hype or the reviews or what you heard about the book? Let me know in the comment section down below. And anyways, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Thursday for a new bookish video.